Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Am I the Asshole? If you're a fan of Reddit stories, it would really support the channel if you could like or subscribe. Without further ado, let's dive into our first story. Am I the asshole for blowing up at my sick husband when he asked for help with our toddler? I plan on sending this post to my husband once the verdict is in, whichever way it goes. So I'll add as much of his perspective as I can. Our toddler was sick through the weekend. I was up with him one night from 12:15 to 2:45 and off and on the next night. I probably got 10 to 12 hours of broken sleep the whole weekend. Yesterday, my husband mentioned he was starting to feel a little sick. Last night, I went to bed early, hoping to catch up on rest. All throughout the night, my husband woke me up way more often than my toddler ever does, even on a bad night. Some of the times were not directly his fault, but other times I felt like he was being inconsiderate. 1, he snored loudly in my ear. 2, he asked for another blanket because he had the chills. I told him it was at the foot of the bed. He asked for help and reminded me that he helps me when I'm sick and that he'd still do the morning routine with our son. 3, he had a nightmare I had to shake him awake from. Normal. 4, he whispered at Alexa to ask for the time. He asked for another blanket. I gave him mine. 6, he made a phone call in bed and left a full volume voicemail to his work to let them know he'd need to take a sick day. 7, at 5:30 in the morning, he woke me to ask if I could do the wake-up routine with our son. I do bedtime, he does wake up. At this point, I blew up. I expressed how mad I was that he woke me up all night long. And now I have to wake up early to do what he said he'd still do, and I don't get to stay home and catch up on sleep. He said I was in the wrong because marriage is in sickness and in health. I immediately got up to get ready. He said I didn't have to start getting ready so early. I said yes, I did because I start work at 7:30. I barely make it to work on time when I wake up at 6, and now I have to unexpectedly skip my shower, get my toddler ready, get his food ready for the day, feed him breakfast, drop him off at daycare, then take myself to work. I said he was a grown man with a cold, and he robbed me of the rest I needed, and that he'll be sleeping on the couch tonight. At that point, I asked for space, and we haven't talked since. I was late for work, which is a big deal at my job. I might be the asshole for blowing up at my husband when he asked for support during an unexpected illness. Am I the asshole for being mad at my sick husband? Not the asshole. It's one thing if you slept all night and he was up all night sick and he woke you up and asked you to handle the morning routine. It's another when he's willfully kept you awake, waking you up for extra blankets, asking the time, and making a loud phone call is absolutely willful behavior from him. Your angry feelings are valid. If this is a one-time thing, when he's better, circle back and have a discussion. If this is his typical man flu cold behavior, he needs to stop it. Sleep deprivation is cruel. Not the asshole, 100%. How do you wake someone up to get a blanket at the foot of the bed and start making phone calls in bed when someone is sleeping? I mean, that is just rude. If he doesn't know where the blankets are in the home, why? Does he not live there? Asking Alexa what time it is, knowing his phone is right there, gets me more than the blankets, I think. It feels like he's mad he's sick and is taking it out on her. I'm curious if that's their normal dynamic or what. Yeah, definitely. 'Cause Alexa doesn't whisper back. She tells the whole neighborhood. This guy doesn't know how lucky he is because I'd have kicked him to the couch about 3 days ago. His mother's couch. Not the asshole. Being sick, working, and caring for a sick child is terrible. But your husband is an adult and needs to be somewhat self-sufficient and considerate. He can't help that he had a nightmare or snored, but waking you up for a blanket twice, asking for the time, and taking/making calls in the early hours from bed is incredibly self-centered. Not the asshole. Women are expected to care for family and children on our deathbeds, but men are not held to the same standard. While it's understandable that your husband felt awful and needed some help, he could have minimized the amount of disruptions, like waking you just to ask for blankets that are already on the bed. The snoring may be due to congestion, which he can't help. You need some rest, so it's best if you sleep separately until he is better. that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.